Hey there, I'm Sarah Hodges, and this is Executives Uncut, the live podcast where we provide solutions for the corporate cycle of hell. Now, today we're speaking with Simon Severino, CEO of Strategy Sprints. That's a lot of S's, by the way, and I think I did a very good job on all those S's, Simon. But we're speaking about his 3 CEO habits for how to have a healthy business this year. Welcome, Simon Severino, CEO of Strategy Sprints. Say that 10 times.
Hey, Sarah. Hey, everybody. I'm Simon with so many S's.
Simon with so many S's. So, Simon, how would you define a healthy business? Let's get that out of the way right off the bat.
If we think of a business like an organism, we would say that the oxygen is profits. And then we have the next interesting category, which is revenue. And then you have the costs. And the balance between these 3 things makes a big part of the healthy organization. Cash flow, in addition to that, tells you about the movement, how the parts are moving. And so if you put together the profits, revenue, costs, and the cash flow, you see the health score of your organization from a numeric level. And then you have 11 elements of an invincible company that are basically the X-ray. So if you look at the components, it is vision, strategy, execution, offer, positioning, marketing system, sales system, onboarding system, team, and mindset. And these are the 11 components. If you have them in a healthy state and you have the numbers every 7 days reported, then that would be a healthy business.
Nice. I want you to know that the geek in me who loves biomimicry is already super excited about this podcast. And I love that you think about an organization as an organism and the different components that make a healthy organism. So, and I'm sure that all of our CEOs out there listening want to know, how is this going to improve my bottom line?
Yeah, bottom line, first thing is know your profits. So at Strategy Sprints, we have coaches all around the globe, and every week we have dozens of business owners that we coach, and they say, okay, I'm here in this amazing program, let's double revenue. And one of the fundamental things that we do is, okay, show us the core numbers. And most people don't know their current profit. So if I ask you, what's your profit this month? Most people don't know it. What's your profit next month? What's your profit margin? What's your gross profit? What's your net profit? Most business owners don't know it. Even the big names where you would expect that they know it, even they don't know it, because they get these numbers every 6 to 12 months, which is, of course, too late. You are not taking decisions every 6 to 12 months. You are taking decisions 15 to 20 times per day. And this is the moment when you need this information. So most people, they're flying blind when they run their business. And that's a non-healthy situation to be. That's risky. So it is.
I'm laughing to myself, Simon, because I feel like I want to hide right now. Like, you're talking about my business, and it's funny because I'm a coach, right? But I'm an executive coach. I work primarily on interpersonal relationships, stress mitigation, the soft skills stuff. I am not a business coach. I would come to you for business coaching because you are speaking right to my challenges right now. Just so you know, it's kind of embarrassing and hilarious to me because I have not logged into my QuickBooks in 5 months. So I have no idea. I just know there's enough. Look at him. I see the judgment on your face. Okay. But you know, I have my areas in which I need to grow as well. I need to hire a bookkeeper. I need to grow. But in terms of flying blind, that happens a lot. I know that there's plenty, but I don't really know what the margins are.
Yeah,
true.
most people don't know it. And
makes me feel a little better.
Yeah, it still is the same amount of risk
Right.
because you wouldn't do that with your personal bank balance.
Sure.
You wouldn't. So why do business owners accept that amount of risk, knowing that so many companies will not survive long term, and especially in this super funky year? It's really important to have two things in terms of business health. One is to know your internals, to know your current situation, and the other one is to know what's going on outside, and to be built more like Lego than like Duplo, so that you can recombine and adapt quickly. You said biomimicry. And if a company is mimetically, structurally coupled to the outside, and the health grade, or what we call agility, agility means how fast can you adapt to the rate of change outside.
Mhm.
So imagine a bird and a flower. The form of the flower and the form of the bird, for example, of a colibri, over centuries, they will adapt the form to each other, because that is structural coupling. So, and that's agility, where the part that needs contact to the other really adapts. And this is how evolution works. Now, the only thing that changed now in the pandemic year is the speed of the change. The speed is so high that right now
True.
we don't know if gold will be substituted by Bitcoin. We
Yeah.
don't know if markets are going up or down. We don't know if we should enter that market or that market with a new product. The needs are changing so quickly. So we need to build an organization that is agile. And agile is not the biggest, not even the fastest organization. It's the fittest. And the fittest is the fit between inside and outside. How quickly can you adapt the fit between inside and outside?
It makes perfect sense to me. And I'm just wondering, what do you think, or what have you seen in your experience that prevents CEOs and business leaders from leading a healthy business?
Yeah, the first thing is that they don't look at the fundamentals. I guess it's the same with just being healthy, like physical fitness. Everybody knows it's eating, it's sleeping, it's exercising. It's so simple.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it. But how many people are running every day? How many people are doing yoga every day? How many people are doing breath work every day? How many people are eating healthy? How many people are just doing push-ups and squats every day, and deadlifts, which is the basics? You do that, you're healthy. But how many people are doing it? And what's the reason? Well, the reason is, with their head, they are in some weird places, instead of being in the reality of their body.
Mm.
And the same thing is with business owners. Business owners right now are all over the place. They are on Clubhouse for hours.
Yeah. Yeah. I've
They
noticed the
run.
attention component even in my work. Yeah.
So, what are you doing on Clubhouse for hours? Uh, if
Or
it's
Twitter or
if
any of
it's
that. Yeah.
if it's fun, okay, do it. But the problem is that they think this is a component of their go-to-market strategy, and
Mm.
that doesn't build on anything. So usually, when you ask me what's the reason why they are not in a healthy place, is because with their head, they are everywhere, but they do not focus on the current bottleneck and on the current fundamentals.
Mm. Hmm. Yeah. And do you think that thinking about myself, right? Because I was very transparent about my own struggles. Um, for me, I don't love the accounting component of it. And it's actually really funny because I sublet out of an accounting office. So I'm surrounded by accountants all day long, constantly, and they make fun of me. And I did just hire an office manager who can handle a lot of the, accounting and bookkeeping for us to help with that. So I'm there. But can you help me? I'm going to demonstrate coachability here. what's the next step for me? What's still missing? What do I need to do to run a healthy business?
One very effective, simple thing that you can do is tell your bank to send you every day an email with just the balance, the bank balance. So I get this email every day from my bank, and I don't think about it, but I get an email and I check it, and then I say, oh, the number is a bit higher than yesterday. Fine. Oh, the number is a bit lower. Oh, interesting. Let me check what's going on there.
Yeah.
So that's a very good habit, and you don't need to do anything. You just click it once, and then your bank will send you an email or an SMS, whatever you prefer. But get your attention to the numbers, and this is how you start. The second thing is what we call the weekly habit of the CEO. So we will talk about 3 habits: the daily habit, the weekly habit, and the monthly habit. The weekly habit is get your numbers every 7 days. Marketing numbers, operations numbers, sales numbers. Now, what are your marketing numbers? Marketing numbers as a coach are the number of people who were on your website today and they clicked 7 times a PDF because they want more Sarah.
Yeah, you want more Sarah.
More Sarah, yeah. These people. So how many? Were it 7 or 17 or 700? We want to know this number every week, and we want to see that it's going slightly up. That's a marketing number. Another marketing number is how many referrals did you get? And then whatever is for you marketing. If you are on YouTube, it's watch time. Is the watch time going up? If you run Facebook groups, it's the engagement rate or the stickiness or the churn rate or number of new subscribers in your Facebook group. These are marketing numbers. Operational numbers are how happy are your current clients. That is measured with the NPS, Net Promoter Score. So, and that's a number. In our case, it's 76 right now, and I want to see that being a steady 76 or even go up. And that's nice. A relatively important number. Also, in operational numbers is how many people want refunds, how many people complain about the feature not working or something not being there. And these are important things, especially the speed of reaction to them. And then you have the sales numbers. How many people were scheduled on your calendar to have a sales call with you this week? And is that number going up or down? So number of scheduled calls, number of calls that you converted into a client, and of course, new revenue from that client. And these are the 3 sales numbers. If you get these numbers, marketing numbers, ops numbers, and sales numbers every 7 days, now you have 1/3 of an agile, healthy company.
That is awesome. And what I love about it is it's totally doable. Even with our little team, the operations person can definitely pull those numbers. Justin, the podcast producer, is probably in a cold sweat right now because he knows that I'm going to start asking him for those numbers every week. He's like, no. But those are all totally reasonable and doable. I'm actually feeling pretty motivated right now. What else you got for us?
They are. And if you have accountants around, let them create a monthly report of your numbers out of QuickBooks. And the report is designed slightly differently than what they have learned in school and what they would like to do. Because you will say, okay, this is not bookkeeping. This here is running a company. And to run a company, I need different numbers. We will start with the net profit. So the first thing that I want to see up there every 30 days is net profit. And they will go, oh, I cannot possibly do that every 30 days. You can. Then the next thing is costs position, costs of work, cost of marketing, cost of sales, cost of innovation. That's easy. Cool. And then down there, you want your cash flow, what's going in, what's going out, liabilities, receivables, what can you expect to get soon, and what can you expect to have to pay soon. That's the cash flow part. And then you have the bank balance, just how much is right now on our bank account. If you get this every 30 days, now you're in a very good spot. Now you know at least what's going on. Now, depending on the numbers that you get, then it might even be a healthy business, but at least you have now reality in your business. And that's one part of de-risking, because now you know where the problems are and now you can improve them by 1% every week.
That is so awesome. It makes a lot of sense, right? Because I would look at my bank balance, I'd say, good, and that I wouldn't put any more thought into it than that. But this is a way to really understand where all the numbers are across the business so I can hone in on what needs attention to help focus on, honestly, it's the 80-20 rule, right? Putting more attention into the 20% that's working for me and letting go of the 80% that's not. So these are all super fantastic tips.
Absolutely. And as soon as these foundations work, now it's time to fire yourself from operations.
Yeah, I'm working on
because you
that.
cannot do everything.
Right.
And you are the bottleneck of your own company. So when your
Totally.
dream client shows up, you will say, oh yeah, I'd love to. I was waiting for you since 10 years, but I can't because I am with these other 17 clients right now, and I cannot take you on. And that's exactly what you don't want from your business. You want it to be scalable ad infinitum. You want the sky to be the limit and not just 24 hours. So the first bottleneck is you. You have to remove yourself from coaching, and you can do that. I did it 2.5 years ago by creating a certification model. Now I teach coaches and I onboard them and I supervise them. I've freed up 40 hours of my time. And in this time, I can work on form, fit, and function of the business. This is how you scale a business. Now you work on the business, not just in the business.
That's so validating that you bring that up, because we are right now in development of a coach certification program, because I have much like you, I have a proprietary methodology that I want to teach coaches and then supervise the coaches as opposed to doing all of the coaching myself. So thank you for that validation. And anyone out there who didn't know that's the direction that we're going in, that's the direction that we are going in. So this is very timely.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, and one other thing I want to say is all of my clients are my dream clients. And I honestly mean that. I love every single one of them. But thing number 2, tell me more about your clients. Do you have a success story that you can share with us that our audience may relate to?
If every client is your dream client, then no client is your dream client, because what kind of dream is that? That applies to everybody.
I'm just saying I love them all. That is true. I bring my whole self to them, but I see what you're saying, right? And that it at some point you do want to scale and train other people to do what you do.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we are working right now with mainly consultancies and marketing agencies. Marketing agencies, they get competition on their heels. People say, hey, I want to see much more return on my investment. How can you show me the click rate? Can you show me the numbers? When I put in $2, can you show me what happens exactly? And so they were traditionally doing commercials and TV and things that is not so directly reportable, and they are getting much pressure from there. So they have to become much quicker and more numeric. And we help them find this more agile, more digital way of doing it. And the second category is consulting companies. Consulting companies have a very low net profit margin. On average, the consulting companies in this world have around 13 and 23% gross margin, which means they work a lot, but they don't build anything, because whatever comes in gets out again. It's what they pay their people mainly. And so as a business model, it's broken. As a lifestyle, it might be great if you're not flying too much, but as a business model, it's not a good model. And so we help them improve their operations and their sales so that they have a much more profitable business.
That's awesome. And I want to know still a little bit more about you. So how did you How did you uncover this process? What is your story?
I have been in consulting now 18 years, and I was flying from New York to Paris to Berlin to Beijing to work with teams on their current go-to-market strategy execution. And I was soon fed up with flying, because every city, every airport, at some point, when you have seen them all, they look all the same. Every airport is the same.
Yep.
And so that was not so exciting anymore. And I wanted to find a way to do this with more calm, just from home. Technology was here, and I was like, wait a moment. If something works, then it works on your phone. It works wherever you are. Otherwise, it's not ready yet. So can we build a consulting program that works wherever you are? You are on your phone. I wanted to have something that is not fly there, have a workshop, sit around, blah, 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 coffee table, blah, 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 and then you fly back to your city. I don't need that. What I need is something like Spider-Man, who says, hey, should I kick the left door or should I kick the right door? And then he says, give me a second. Comes back, kick the left door. This is what I need. And I need it in that moment, not 3 weeks later when we have scheduled the big workshop. I need it right now. I need it 2 minutes. And then I go and do my thing. And then in 2 hours, I might again have a question. 2 minutes. And then I do my thing. This was the cycle that I was looking for. Yeah. Action, reflection, action, reflection, action, reflection. Because this is how we live life. True, we do stuff. We don't analyze for months, and then we do something. We do it, and while we do it, we collect information, and then we look at this information, and we do the next action.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you created a business that reflected how you just lived organically. And I imagine you're a lot happier as a result.
I can play with my kids. I'm 41 and I have 2 kids. So in the morning, I play with my kids. Then I do 1 hour of exercise. Then I work with cool people wherever they are on this planet. But I don't have to fly to Shanghai. I just have a Zoom call with Shanghai. Then I will have another exercise, or I will read a book. Then I will have lunch. Then I have another couple nice Zooms and a couple interviews, and they are in London. And then in the evening, they are with Los Angeles and with San Francisco. And then I play with my kids, and then I have dinner with my wife. And that was, to me, a very natural, a very fulfilling day. The opposite of that, before I had invented this method, my day was 3:50. You go to the airport, you fly to some city, they all look the same, 8 hours, blah, 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 fly back home, everybody's asleep, I break down into my bed, stinking. So much better life now.
Yeah, and I imagine you were perfectly set up for a global pandemic where everyone was working from home. You're like, oh, I've already got this. I'm already working remote. This is great.
We were a little bit before the pandemic, because we didn't see the pandemic coming. I was surprised by the pandemic, but I wasn't surprised by the internet and by the phone, right? So it was here all the time. It just got accelerated by the pandemic.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Well, I love hearing your story. Your lifestyle is probably a goal lifestyle for many of the executives listening to us, and it's really cool that you have found a sort of like you've hacked how to have a healthy business in terms of what you need on a daily, weekly, or monthly schedule. Is there anything else that we didn't cover today that you want to make sure that executives out there know?
We have all these tools, the daily habit, the weekly habit, the monthly habit. They can download them on strategysprints.com/tools.
Cool.
And we have a whole range of clients, around 900 People are talking about these tools and how they apply them and what works and what doesn't in a Facebook group called Entrepreneurship in Sprints. So if
Nice.
they want to hang out, it's a private group, but if they say, hey, I come from Sarah, I will let them in.
That's awesome. Cool. Everybody hear that? If you say you came from Sarah, he's going to let you into the free group. Honestly, I'm going to go down and download the tools. I think these can be very useful for my business as we scale, and will give us, some guidelines in what to look for so we can stay agile. And I love your analogy, probably because I have a toddler, about Legos versus Duplos. And there's even Mega Blocks, which are like really big Legos. So I want everybody out there, as your coaching question from this podcast, to ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, how agile is your business? And how can you improve your rating with daily, weekly, and monthly habits for yourself and your team? Simon, thank you so much. This was incredibly informative. Where can our viewers find out more about you?
So I hang out on YouTube. We have a daily show. It's called Strategy Sprints.
Cool.
And I hang out on Facebook in this group, Entrepreneurship in Sprints. And otherwise, we are at strategysprints.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks everyone else for tuning into this episode of Executives Uncut. And if you enjoyed the content, make sure to subscribe, share with someone who could benefit, and visit hodgescoaching.com for new episodes. You can also follow us at Hodges Coaching on LinkedIn or YouTube. Simon, again, thank you. And I'm Sarah Hodges. I'll see you in a couple of weeks.